Hey everyone, Gaijin here. Just really fast, I have a bit of a disclaimer for this video. This is a pilot episode for a project called Real Culture that just never really got off the ground. Since I made it quite a while ago, there are a few audio and visual issues, and I had to cut off a few things in the beginning of the video. But I still think the content is worth sharing to y'all. And who knows, if there's enough interest in this cultural analysis of movies, I might be able to do more. We'll see. But for now, enjoy everyone. And after spending a little time coming up with some suitable ideas, I'm proud to announce the creation of Real Culture, a series where we discuss the real culture behind real culture. You get it? It's like a pun. Anyway, for my very first episode, I have a critically important question for you. Do you want to be a Jedi? Do you want to push rocks with your mind, control the weak-willed, blast your foes with lightning, cut through solid steel with your lightsaber? Well, that's too bad. Unfortunately, those pesky laws of physics and biology keep us from accomplishing our greatest nerd goals. But that doesn't mean you can't become a Jedi. What do I mean by that? Let's go down the official Jedi Creed and learn exactly what it means to be a Jedi. There is no emotion, there is peace. There is no ignorance, there is knowledge. There is no passion, there is serenity. There is no chaos, there is harmony. There is no death, there is the Force. Pretty straightforward set of beliefs and practices, right? Now, what if I were to tell you that there exists a practice of belief that follows this creed to its very core? Well, my friends, I'm happy to tell you that such a practice exists. It's called Buddhism. Now, some folks believe Buddhism is all about not eating meat, wearing robes, and trying to figure out how to find that one popular grunge band. But while so many of us have heard the term Buddhism, maybe even studied it back in high school and college, I bet you didn't know that the Jedi Creed practically plagiarizes Buddhism. How? Well, let's break down the Jedi Creed step by step. Let's take the first and third points of the Jedi Creed together since they're basically identical. Passion is the sum of emotion, while peace and serenity mean just about the same thing. These parts of the Jedi Creed parallels Buddhism's core principles of the Four Noble Truths, those being, life is suffering, the cause of suffering is desire, suffering can be overcome by removing our desire, and the following of the Eightfold Path is the way of doing so. So basically, we want worldly stuff, and when we can't have it, we get all emotionally bent out of shape. We become greedy, selfish, and even wishing evil against our neighbors because of our desires. Buddhist practitioners recognize that the wanting of worldly stuff brings suffering, and will use the Eightfold Path as a point of reference to keep from suffering in their lives. The Jedi are absolutely no different. They believe in distancing themselves from worldly possessions in order to keep their mind focused on the bigger picture, the Force.
Attachment leads to jealousy. The shadow of greed, that is.
What must I do, Master Yoda?
Train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose.
By keeping their desires in check, they can keep their minds free of negative emotion like worry, fear, greed, and anger. All that stuff the dark side loves. How interesting that the very foundation of Buddhism is also one of the core principles of the mind of the Jedi. Now let's move on to the next of the Jedi Creed. There is no ignorance, there is knowledge. Now with this, let me introduce you to the Eightfold Path I was talking about earlier. Right view, right intentions, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right concentration, and right mindfulness. We've already covered the parallels between Buddhism and Jedi of controlling their thoughts and emotions, while the concepts of meditation and freeing oneself from evil are easily seen established principles of Jedis in the movies. But let's talk about this concept of right view, or knowing the truth. While I could simply say that the idea of, quote, knowing truth is the exact same as there is no ignorance, there is knowledge, there is a very unique way in how Buddhists practice this Jedi concept. Tibetan monks will hold mass debates with each other about all different aspects of their philosophy, oftentimes spending entire days doing so. Now, you would think that these debates were done so that the more inexperienced monks can learn from their elders. Well, this isn't entirely true. See, Tibetan monks have a unique mentality when it comes to their debates, wherein the monk who wins the debate is the one who truly has lost, as they have learned nothing. Their perspective of philosophy has not grown or changed, Therefore, they are exactly where they were mentally from when they started. With this mentality, it is literally impossible for monks to hold any amount of ignorance when they are purposely trying to have their minds changed in order to grow as an individual. Next on the Jedi Creed is, there is no chaos, there is harmony. This concept wraps up the 8th noble truth of right livelihood by respecting life. It's pretty easy to understand that Buddhists spend their years of meditation, debating, and practice with the sole objective of living in harmony with the world and everything in it. By doing so, they obtain nirvana, which leads us to our final Jedi Creed excerpt. There is no death, there is the Force. Let me pull up that clip of Yoda one more time.
Death is a natural part of life. Rejoice for those around you who transform into the Force. Mourn them do not, miss them do not.
So according to the most respected Jedi in the galaxy, when we die, we become the Force. This is not so unlike the concept of reincarnation and the karmic wheel of Buddhism. See, there are 6 realms of existence which range from godhood to hell. For one reason or another, people will always shift up and down these realms for an eternity due to how easy or hard it will be to develop good karma. The ultimate objective of Buddhism is not to obtain godhood, as even they are susceptible to a downgrade. The objective is to escape the wheel entirely and become one with the spirits and the powers of the cosmos. To become part of the energies that surround and binds existence together. Isn't that how Yoda defined the Force?
Life creates it, makes it grow. Its energy surrounds us and binds us. Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter.
Therefore, to become the energies of existence is to become the Force. How about that? So while we can't mentally push people we don't like into oncoming traffic or swing around plasma swords, the foundation of what it means to be a Jedi has been around since the 1st century, and is something that over 500 million people claim to practice in their everyday life. Remember, what it means to be a Jedi, a true Jedi, is something that anyone can become. But thanks for watching, everyone.